opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Going to do what I always do and put their logo in that top right-hand corner so you know where to go if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle. Make sure to head on down to Greenwood Chevy in Austintown. They'll go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. Try to follow our sponsors' lead. One of the ways we do that, of course, is our player profiles and our coaches' corners that we highlight on this show, trying to give as many lights and stars and all that fun stuff into the athletes and coaches as we possibly can. And that's one of the way that we go the extra mile for you here on Running Point and at YSN Live. We have a good show for you today. Like we said, we're going to recap yesterday like we always do. It's the same routine. Recap yesterday, talk about the games that went down, some really good ones happening last night. We'll also preview tonight's games. There's a couple of cancellations, but I think for the most part we should be good to go. I know there was possibilities of an ice storm last night, but it didn't hit, I don't think, as much as I'm sure the high school students would have hoped. It definitely we didn't see too many schools canceled this morning. Make sure to head on down to Storm Tracker 21 to check out any further weather that we might have that could affect school cancellations. But I actually think for a couple of days here, we're going to be in the clear. We're supposed to warm up a little bit according to Storm Tracker 21. The 7-day forecast looks like it's supposed to get a little bit up into the 40s, maybe the 50s by the weekend. Which, after you've been in sub 20 temperatures for a couple of days, I'll tell you what, 50 feels like, let's put on a t-shirt, let's go out and enjoy the sunlight. It's crazy how that happens, because when it's 50 in the fall, we're like, give me a coat. And now when it's 50 after a long winter, we get out the Bermuda shorts, the sunglasses, sunscreen. Let's go out and have some fun. So we're hoping for warm weather this weekend. I know everybody else is. And but before we get to the weekend, we have a lot of basketball to get to because it's only Tuesday. Let's go into the scoreboard, brought to you by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs on ysnlive.com. We'll pull it up for you. The scoreboard is a great tool for our fans, whether you're at one of the games, watching one of our broadcasts, or both. We hope both, because that would be a great usage of your time if you were checking out two games at once. The YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way to find live, updated scores on our website. It means you can quickly check how your favorite team is doing, whether it be your rival or your friends. The YSN scoreboard is live updated by our great team behind the scenes, so you don't have to wait until midnight for the scores to come in. It's a great tool. You can find it at ysnlive.com/scores. Let's see what the scores were from last night. Girls' night last night on the network, and let's see what went down. Crestview, same old Crestview, right? Just keep trucking along. They win 60-14 over Brookfield. Addison Rhodes, 26 points. No shocker there, really. I think when Addison Rhodes scores more than 20, it's kind of a ho-hum day, the way she's been playing this season. You go to Garfield. They were able to beat Camel for the second time this season, 64-45, the final score there for the Lady G-Men. A bit of a shocker in Girard as, man, the Indians team was one bucket away from being in first place in the inning 8, but they got shocked by Cardinal Mooney last night, who came into town and got a win over Girard in Girard, which is really impressive. Final score there was 55-44. Mooney ends up winning by 11. It was close, and then the third quarter seemed to be the real big difference for the Cardinals coming out of halftime with a couple of offensive adjustments, definitely defensively, making the adjustments there. Girard's a hard offense to stop, so Mooney making those halftime adjustments and keeping them in check, and getting the win. Mooney has a couple of signature wins on the year. You know, they've beaten Springfield. Now they've beaten Girard. I know they want to add, to their credit, they want to add Ursuline to that list. They have one more chance at the Irish before the season's over. But when they're going good, they're going right. You know, they're just a team that needs to bottle that up. That I think it's when they get aggressive on offense, really, as a unit, not just one or two players, but everybody looking to score. When I've seen them do well, and I've seen them struggle live for Cardinal Mooney. And when they do well, they have everyone making moves to score, right? So everyone is just looking at the bucket trying to score. Doesn't mean that everyone scores. It just means everyone is making moves towards the hoop, right? That they want to score, and that can make a defense move, and then you have to move the ball, and then you find someone with a really good shot opportunity. But that all comes from being aggressive and wanting to score with the ball in your hand. And I think Mooney's done a really good job of that when they have succeeded. When they don't succeed or when they're struggling, it's a lot of just catch and let me get the ball out of my hand as quick as I can. Not aggressive mindset for 3 out of the 5 players on the floor, not moving without the basketball, not trying to find a way to get an opportunity to score for enough players. So when they can do that, when they're working as a unit and everybody's trying to find a good way to score, then Mooney has a lot of success. And I know Coach DiOrio trying to find a way to get that to be consistently on the court. I'm talking about adjustments. How about Champion? They go down 21-12 after one quarter. I mean, LeBray came out swinging. Their offense looked unstoppable. You get this 21 points after one quarter is on pace for 84 points. I mean, they were rocking. And then Champion made some adjustments. And I don't think it was any schematic adjustments or any strategic adjustments. It was just go out there and execute better, especially on the defensive side, rebounding better, closing out, rotating that zone better. Everything was just a little bit more tightened up in that second quarter after falling down 21-12. Champion came out and went on a 13-2 run. They led 25-23 at the half, and then just kept kind of counterpunching. LeBray would not let them run away, so it wasn't one of those games where Champion ran away with it. It was close the whole second half. So LeBray was keep making plays to stay in the game, but Champion just kept counterpunching. Kayla Haney had the big night on the day, 16 points for her, and Carly Easterday, the senior post, also in double figures for Champion. You had Bella Meyer with 8 and Addie Warzela with 7. Warzela also had 7 rebounds as a point guard. I've said it before, love point guards that rebound, because as soon as you get that board, you have someone that knows what to do with the ball in their hands. You don't have to scramble for an outlet. You don't have to find the point guard. You have a guard that can rebound the ball and take you right down the court. And I think when Warzela gets rebounds, Champion can transition well. They can push tempo. They can do a lot of things that opens the offense up when Warzela's in there getting defensive rebounds and then running the floor with the offense already in mind. You don't have to have someone slow the offense down trying to find the point guard or trying to find someone who can handle the ball down the floor. Which, to be honest, at this level, a lot of post players are like that. They get the rebound. They're really good at getting the rebound, but then they're not going to be that player to bring the ball down the floor themselves and run a transition. So they have to find the point guard. That slows people down, and then the transition game gets stopped. So having Warzela in there to get rebounds, 7 of them last night, and I think almost all of them were defensive, really helps Champion run that transition game and use their athleticism. They're a fast, athletic team. So even though they love to shoot and they are a really deadly shooting team, They're also a team that likes to get a lot of those shots in transition, not half court. They can get them in half court. They showed that last night. They can definitely do that. But you love to get them in transition with how athletic they are. So having a point guard that gets the rebounds on the defensive side and can just get them right in that transition, then that's really good for Champion. Wellsville and Columbiana doing battle in the EOAC. Columbiana gets the win. They're on the road, 50-29, the final score for you there. Avery Marshall continues to have success as he was in double figures for the Clippers. That is what I think 4 straight games for Avery Marshall in double figures, if I'm not mistaken. Had a huge game against Springfield on Saturday, so she's really starting to hit a streak. And now that EOAC, we'll talk about it a little bit later when we get to the Southern United game down there, a couple rows down. But now it's really going to come down to Columbiana versus United, round 2. South Range, they get revenge on Lakeview. Remember, they lost to the Bulldogs in the Thriller Dome earlier on in the season. They get revenge going on the road in Cortland and getting the victory 54-36, the final score there. That's a big bounce back from South Range after a tough one to Edgewood on Saturday, where the Raiders gave up a pretty sizable lead. Struthers gets the narrow win over Hubbard, 48-47. Wildcats get the dub. That's a big one in the Fieldhouse. 2 in a row in the conference for Struthers after having no wins in the conference going into last week. So the Wildcats are starting to streak a little bit, and it was M. Morris with the big game for the Wildcats. Gianna Martin chips in as well. They're finding ways to play really well. And I've told the coaches this every time I see them. They're asking me what's going on in Struthers, and I say, is this one of those things you can't really explain? If you ask me on paper, if Struthers is a better team now than they were back in the beginning, I would say no. They lost Caitlin Kimball. She's out for the season with an injury, and she was definitely one of their better players. And when you lose someone like that, you don't think the team's going to get better. But Struthers has been playing really, really good inspired basketball since that point. And they haven't had all the wins, but you look at some of the teams they've pushed to the brink. I mean, Crestview had a 1-point lead after three quarters against them. They pushed Poland on the road in Poland to the brink. So you look at that and you think, wow, Struthers is really starting to find ways to be successful. And I think Gianna Martin is one of the big reasons why she stepped into it. She's made sure that it's not just Emma Morris now, because it was the Emma Morris and Caitlin Kimball show before, unfortunately, Caitlin Kimball went down with the injury. So now you have other players that are stepping up and scoring as well. Natalie Adams being a little bit more than just a point guard, getting into the stat sheet. When you can have that, I think it's almost the Calvin Johnson effect. And I've told people this is the metaphor I've used. If you remember when Calvin Johnson left Detroit, that next year, Matt Stafford had one of his best statistical seasons of his career. And people are like, why? You just lost the best receiver you will ever have, Hall of Fame receiver. Well, it was because now he just kind of was forced to spread the ball around a little bit and forced to find other ways to get yards. And that made him a better quarterback. And I think now that you have Caitlin Kimball down, I think some of these players are kind of forced into that position where they can't sit and watch and just go, okay, Emma and Caitlin will score. We can just stand and watch and we can, have fun watching them do their thing. It's not that anymore. It's like, okay, I got to go. This is my opportunity. And that's what's happened with this program. And I think that speaks wonders, not just to the coaching staff, because obviously Coach Ritz is a Hall of Famer, 500 plus wins. He knows how to get people in good positions. But I think what it is really, really testament to is not just the senior leadership, but in specifically, I want to give a shout out to Caitlin Kimball's leadership, because I think the team rallied behind one of their own, and then there was confidence to say, I can do this when she's not here. And that doesn't happen if Caitlin Kimball is an egomaniac, taking the ball all the time and just going off and scoring and scoring and scoring and not caring about the growth of other players. If that was the case, then this team would probably crumble after she got hurt. But because she's such a good leader, she gets hurt and other players immediately feel confident enough to step into that role and to make this Struthers basketball team actually have a huge midseason turnaround. I do not want to play Struthers in the tournament. If I'm a team in that D2 tournament, I do not want to play Struthers right now. They are playing so well. They beat South Range. They beat Hubbard. They pushed Poland to the brink. They had Crestview running, nervous after 3 quarters of play. Would not want to play Struthers, and I probably wouldn't have even guessed I'd say that after we saw Caitlin Kimball get hurt, because they were struggling with her, and I was like, oh man, that's their leading scorer going down. What are they going to do now? Well, what they did is they just kind of rallied together as a unit, and everyone now is chipping in, and everyone now is a little bit confident, more confident in the field house. So props to Struthers, man. That's a great story for this season. Latonia goes to East Palestine last night, and East Palestine gets the win 47-17. There, Badger keeps rolling as they beat Matthews 64-15 final score. We saw McDonald go to Sebring and get a much needed victory. They win 53-22. Middle Ridge hosting Mogador in a non-conference game, and Mogador comes in and kind of spoils the party a little bit. They beat Middle Ridge 48-43, the final score there. As we go along in the next column, Newton Falls and Liberty. And Liberty put up a fight. Another game where Liberty really battles, but Newton Falls comes out on top 32-25 there to get the victory on the road. Niles and Poland. Poland does it 59-38, the final score, with the Bulldogs staying firmly in first place in the NE8. They are 1 game up of Girard, 2 games up of South Range. No, actually 3 games up of South Range now, with the Raiders losing to Struthers last week. So the Indians are hoping that someone can come and knock them off, of course. Beaver Local falls to Oak Glen. The final score there was 56-38. Southern Local and United doing battle, and look at Southern Local all over the Eagles 70-49. So the history repeats itself a little bit in the EOAC so far. First time around, Columbiana beats Southern. Southern beats United. United beats Columbiana. That's how we went. It wound up with a 3-way tie going into the second round of EOAC play, right? And now all of a sudden, here we go. Columbiana beats Southern. Southern beats United. The ball's in United's court, right? Southern's like, okay, we beat you, but now we're your biggest fans. Go and beat Columbiana and make this a 3-way tie so we can all say we're conference champions. If that happens, it's chaos, right? Columbiana and United playing again in not too long, and it's down to that game. It really is. United wins. There's a 3-way tie. There's a log jam in top. Columbiana wins. They're the outright champions. It's that simple. And Southern did their job. And Southern did their job, if you like chaos, I should say, as they win very, very impressively over United. And it's funny because it's all about matchups. People are thinking, well, why can Southern have that kind of game against United, but not against Columbiana? But United beats Columbiana. What's going on? It's all about matchups. It's that simple. Southern matches up with United a little bit better than they match up with Columbiana. And we've seen that in 2 games. Lost to Columbiana twice. Offense for Southern really unable to do much against Columbiana's defense. They beat United twice, but their offense has had much more success against United. So basketball is about matchups. You can't necessarily just draw the line and say they lost to this team and this team lost to this team, so therefore they have to be better than the team. Not necessarily the case. Springfield has a much easier job this time around with Lowville. Remember, last meeting was a 2-point Springfield win. This time a 47-25 win for the Tigers on the road as they take care of business. I'm sure they had a pretty rough Sunday, if they had Sunday practice, or a rough conversation with Coach Matizzi after that loss to Columbiana on Saturday, where they only were able to score 18 points against that Columbiana defense. Lisbon in a defensive battle beats Valley Christian. Final score there, 32-12. Lisbon gets the win. That's their 5th win of the year. Congratulations to the Blue Devils. Speaking of Blue Devils, Western Reserve travels to Jackson Milton and wins 52-29. Final score there over the Blue Jays. Conneaut gets the win on the road against Middlefield Cardinals, 69-52. Big win for the Spartans there against a good Middlefield Cardinal team. Pymatuning Valley, they fall to Grand Valley, 58-41. Final score there. Let's see, Youngstown East and Warren Harding doing battle in Youngstown, and it was actually Warren, 47-21. East falls to the Raiders. So the Raiders with two big wins in a row against teams that have been pretty decent this year. Fitch being even more than pretty decent. Fitch being pretty good. They beat Fitch on Saturday, then they come and they beat Youngstown East here on Monday. So Warren Harding starting to trend in the right direction. East Liverpool has a really good game against Steubenville Central Catholic, but Steubenville Central, I'm just going to call them SCC because I'm not saying all that again. SCC gets the win by the final score of 55-48. Reagan Edwards, a big game for the Potters, 17 points in the loss. That was a game high, 17 points, by the way. So that does it for your day recap. We had a lot of big games last night. And like I said, a lot of big games in the conference, especially. I think the biggest one in the conference pictures were Champion beating LeBray, because now Champion has set up themselves, as long as they take care of business on Thursday, they've set themselves up to go to Crestview on Monday and have a chance to tie up the conference with just one loss in the MVAC. And the other big one, of course, was Southern beating United and causing a possibility of a three-way tie inside the EOAC. They have to have United beat Columbiana now later on in the season. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and on the other end, we have a player profile to get to you. I did not preview it at the start of the show. I apologize. I just said we're going to do a player profile, but I didn't tease it, so I'll tease it now. We have a featured player profile today from Michael Condolian, one of the senior leaders of the Warren JFK boys basketball team that is just really, I'm just trying to emphasize how good they are this year. Just on top of the world right now. Coach K told us in the coach's corner before the season, this is the year JFK fans are waiting for. And Michael Condolian is a big reason why. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a commercial break. On the other end of it, we're going to feature that player profile with Mr. Condolian, who was kind enough to give me his time a little bit earlier on in the week. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And when we get back, we'll have a player profile with Warren JFK Sr., Michael Condolian. Running Point, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seat between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
Anthony Hartwig here with a Ysn player profile from Warren JFK boys basketball. Michael Condolian, the senior, coming on. Thank you so much for your time this wonderful afternoon.
Oh yeah, anytime. Appreciate you having me on, and just thank you for letting me be here.
Just happy that we're not doing the interview outside right now.
Yeah.
It is not fun. Let's talk about this year. You know, when we talked to Coach K before the season started, he kind of gave us a little bit of a preview, and he said, this is the season that Warren JFK fans have been waiting for. So I get the sense that you guys kind of knew something was special was in the air coming into this year in the summer and in the preseason. What was it like kind of getting ready for this year and kind of having that feeling that something special was cooking in the basketball gym?
Yeah, I feel from an early standpoint in that summer, we were just hungry. We came up short the last 2 years, and I feel like once we got back in the gym this past summer, everyone was just hungry. We all had the same goal, and we're going to try to achieve that goal any way we can.
You know, you look at the contributors of this year. You know, you already have 2,000-point scorers on the team now. You both did it at the same time. You know, Jaden Ritchell, Nick Ryan, Seminaro, you just look around and you see so many people just doing their job and doing it well. As a senior, as a leader of the team, what's it like to have a team like that?
You know, it makes going to practice and playing in games very easy. I've been playing with all these guys since like 5th, 6th grade. So to have the chemistry that we have and to have so many options that we do have, it makes playing the game just like second nature. It makes it easy.
You know, I'm sure going to practice is easy, but when you have to go up against your teammates, that can't be easy. Who's the toughest to go up against in practice?
For me, I would have to probably say Nick Ryan, just because of how athletic he is. I mean, he's probably the quickest, strongest kid on the court. Any game we play against any team. But me and him have some battles in practice, but it's really flipping around. I mean, we guard each other, we guard everybody. We get each other better. More or less, we like to play against each other in practice more than with each other.
How much does that help you guys being able to sharpen your teeth against each other in practice?
Yeah, I just think it brings out the competitive edge in us because we know each other's tendencies and we know how each other like to play on the court. So knowing that going into practice and keying on those things kind of opens up each other's game and kind of makes us better, so we can take that to the court against other teams.
Does that kind of give you also a sense of like, okay, nobody can do something to me on defense that my own teammate can't do? So when you're going up against, your teammate that knows everything about you, you know that you're not going to see anything that's different than that from a defense. Does that give you like a supreme confidence on offense?
I mean, yeah, I'd have to say it boosts my confidence along with I think everyone else's confidence, because if I'm going up against like say Jaden or something and I'm doing the move and he knows my tendencies, he knows what's coming. If I can still pull that move off and still get to the hoop or shoot or something like that, it just gives me a confidence to take that into a game against a team that's not going to know my next step or anyone else's next step.
So like we said, we talked to Coach K and he felt it in the air. You guys felt it in the air. Then you guys had to go and prove it. You had to go and just, take care of business this season. Talk about the first couple of months and what it's been like going through it and what you've seen from your team compared to what you guys, expected out of this season as well.
I think from an early standpoint, we expected to be the team around the area. And, usually the past couple of years, we haven't won those big games to really solidify ourselves as that big team. I mean, we kind of just have handled our business, got to the tournament, and everything unfolded. But this year with big wins over Mooney early on in the season, Cleveland Central Catholic, and then knocking off reigning D1 state champ Hogan, I think that really just showed the area that we're here to stay this year.
Let's talk about your 1,000-point moment. Not only did you guys get it, but you also got it in Cleveland, and you got to celebrate that on the Cavaliers court. What was that moment like for you and Jaden?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, to do it just in general. I mean, it's been one of my goals coming into high school. But to do it with a teammate, someone that I look up to, he looks up to me. We kind of have that bond, and to even do it crazier at the Cavs arena, it's really special because I really don't know many people that could say they've done it there.
Yeah, that's you just keep going levels of the cake, right? You get it with a teammate, and then you get it in the Q arena. Doesn't get much better. When you're thinking of all the accomplishments that you've been able to already achieve, throughout your career, what makes you the most proud?
I'd have to say probably freshman year, winning that district title. I was new to like the whole high school basketball experience, and just being able to get that under our belt. I want to get back there and I want to feel that again because it truly is a great feeling. And if we could do it with this group of kids, I think it would take the school and the program a very long way.
We're talking basketball, but we know that we see you in the other sports seasons as well. You're a multiple sport athlete, baseball, soccer, whatever it may be. You always are keeping yourself busy. So the big question I like to ask multiple sport athletes is, how do you juggle all that? How do you able to manage your time and stay organized through always being busy and always giving your attention to a sport?
It really starts with the people that you surround yourself with. And I believe if you surround yourself with those people that have the same goals as you do, you can achieve anything. So just being around people that may be other sport athletes, like I play soccer with Nick Ryan and Nico Seminara, and then I play baseball in the spring with Quimiola, Jaden Rishel. Just being able to be around those guys for all 3 seasons, it really keeps me focused. We keep each other focused on the field, on the court, in the classrooms. We just work together like a brotherhood and kind of just help each other out whenever needed.
Now, those 3 sports give you great feelings. There's a feeling of a goal in soccer, the big hit in baseball, big shots in basketball. What's your favorite feeling in sports?
I would probably have to say just getting a win, like after the win. I mean, goals are nice, hits are nice, baskets are nice, but really just when you've played 110% for the whole night and the final buzzer, the final outs made, the final timer's gone, just looking up at the scoreboard and having more than the other team, I really just feel like that's the best feeling you could have.
If someone came to you and said you can either have a game-winning shot, a game-winning goal, or a game-winning home run, which one would you choose?
Oh, that's hard because, my favorite's basketball, but out of those 2, I'd probably have to go with game-winning home run, just because that feeling, that's got to be insane.
When you like you said, you're basketball first. We've seen you've had a couple of offers and a couple of visits, and you're kind of scoping out the whole college scene. What kind of things are you looking at? What kind of things are you looking for? What kind of things do you think would make you feel comfortable calling somewhere home?
To me, really, when it comes to that whole next level, It's really about, when I'm looking at a school, it's about education first, because I truly believe like education is the most important part of the college experience. So looking at schools, I'm really looking at their education programs, if they have what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to major in. And after that, it comes basketball, and just to make it feel like a family, because over at JFK with Coach K, he makes it feel like a family. The whole team's bonded, and it just feels like you have a togetherness that can't be broken. So getting that to the next level, I would like to like keep maintaining that and have that same family bond there.
We know the recruiting process, no matter what sport you're trying to get into at the next level, it can be so stressful. You're always talking to coaches, you're always trying to impress, you're always trying to get yourself out there. How have you handled the recruiting process, and how has that been for you?
I've kind of handled it. I'm trying to handle it kind of a little bit more calm than usually people would think. I'm really focused this year just on playing with my guys and doing to the best of our abilities and coming home with wins. I'm kind of viewing it as high school first, kind of focus on the college part second. So I'm really just looking forward to the rest of this year. Hopefully we can make another deep playoff run, maybe a district title, and then all that will sort itself out in the end.
We know that can be hard. It's easy said, not easy done, to say, hey, I'm going to worry about college when high school is done and get my all to high school. What has made that easy for you? What has made it easy to just say, okay, college will figure itself out, but right now I have to be locked into the high school game?
I would have to say just being around my guys and just coming to practice every day, like being around them, laughing. Then when we need to be serious, be serious. I just think it keeps me focused on what I'm actually in, and it's keeping us focused on this season and to be together this season. We can go for our goal, but until then, we can focus on the other stuff after we've achieved that.
You have such a good core group right now at Warren JFK. Tell us some players that you feel confident in that can keep the standard of this program up after you graduate next year.
So you probably know we have a huge senior class. 4 of our starters are seniors. We're going to be gone, and then Ofto is going to be gone too off the bench. But of course, Nick Ryan, he'll hold it down next year for sure. But some younger classmen I'm really looking forward to is Henry Phillips. He's a sophomore this year. Can really shoot the ball, handle it, play good defense, quick. And also Christian Swagger, for him to make the next step and kind of assert himself more into the rotation next year, even this year. But yeah, those two guards I'm really looking forward to. And when I come back and watch games, I'm really looking forward to watching them.
Your fellow seniors, you've been playing with them for so long. You've been growing up together. What's it like to have this last year with them and to be able to just, like you said a couple of times, play with your guys and to be able to have this season with all the guys that you've grown up with?
It's awesome for a part, but it's also kind of sad when you look at it, because the awesome part is you get to see them every day. You go to practice, you go to games, shoot-arounds, all that. We're having fun on the court. We're making plays. We're doing this. We're just going back to how we were kids, acting like we're playing in the playground. But as we're getting farther down into it, we're 12 games in. We only got 10 left in the regular season and then the playoffs. There is a sense in the back of everyone's head like, this is it. We only got this much time left. But I think we're just trying to really cherish it and cherish the moments with each other, make memories, and all that.
Everyone sees what you can do on the basketball court, but they don't see what goes on to get you there. Like, you didn't wake up one day and just, all of a sudden you can do all these things on the basketball court. You have worked really hard to get to this point. Tell us a little bit about that work and where this love for basketball started and how much drive you have to be good at basketball.
I'd have to say it really started from when I was little. I've had a basketball in my hands since I can remember. My dad coached at Harding. He played at Harding, coached at Harding, and then coached the girls at Kennedy for a while. And just his love for basketball has really translated down to me. And I have an older sister, Caitlin Canolan, and she played at Kennedy. And it's kind of just been in my family for as long as I can remember. And that love I just fell in love with it one day, and I wanted to keep pushing, and I've trained really hard at it. I've tried to improve my abilities to the best I can and just put it out there on the court.
What's it been like keeping up that family legacy? Like you said, your sister played at Kennedy, your dad is coached at Kennedy. What's it been like to be the latest and greatest in the family?
Oh, I mean, it comes with a little bit of jokes, but a little bit of like, okay, we're there. Because my sister always used to joke around with me like, oh, I'm up 2-0, 1,000-point scorer, and then she's also the all-time leading scorer at Kennedy. So after I got that in Cleveland, I was like, all right, I cut it to 2-1. I cut it 2-1, so I'm gaining on her. I don't think I'm going to tie it, but no, it's just good to have those jokes with her and just mess around with my dad. My little sister also plays for Kennedy, so it's just been great.
When you think about all the things that you've been able to do at Kennedy, not just with basketball, but the school system and the community, what do you think you're going to miss the most when you graduate?
I think I'm just going to miss the family part of the community of Kennedy, of the whole school. I mean, it really makes you feel involved, and it really makes you feel like you can go to anybody and talk to anybody about anything. It's not always about basketball. It's not always about the sport you play, but to just have those relationships and have those bonds, I truly think it's special.
When you go to college, wherever you do decide to go, obviously you'll be living on your own. Give me something that you're going to have to acquire, or a life skill you're going to have to learn before you live on your own that you don't have yet.
I'd probably have to say really just going out and asserting myself, meeting new people. Sometimes I can get a little like in the shadows because I got my group and I just stick to those guys. But yeah, I really just have to say that. Just adjusting to the whole college lifestyle and going from there.
What home cooked meal are you going to miss the most?
Oh, that's tough. I'd probably have to go with a spaghetti and meatball the most.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
That's top one.
How do you celebrate a big win? You talked about there's no better feeling than winning. What's the celebration in the household for a big win?
Really, I'd say after a big win, always food, always dinner, always going out to eat or something like that. But I really like to spend it with the teammates and with my family. So like we'll all go out to dinner after a big win. Like after Hoban, we all went to O'Charlie's. I think just spend each other's time around each other, cherish that moment, and really the next day we just got back to the drawing board.
You know, you talk about spaghetti and meatballs being your favorite home cooked meal. What's your favorite victory meal?
Oh, I'd have to say a good Chick-fil-A after the game on the way home from the school.
Now, is Chick-fil-A only for winners, or can that be a comfort food after a tough loss too?
That could go both ways.
Both ways, okay.
That's definitely both ways.
All right, Michael, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system, all the people that have been there for you throughout the years. I want to give you the time you want to give shout-outs out and to shine a light on the people you think deserve it.
I want to first give all glory to God. Without him, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the abilities we have today. I want to thank my mom, my dad for always supporting me in everything that I do. I want to thank my sisters for always pushing me and being there for me in the tough losses, great wins. They've always been there. Coach K, Coach Tasker, Coach Smith, and Coach Hughes for taking me into this program and making me feel like it's home and always pushing me to be my best. And then lastly, I just want to thank my teammates. Without them, none of this is possible. All the personal goals are nice, but at the end of the day, it's really about the team, and it's really about going into battle with them and seeing what we can do. And I really think we got the group this year. I'm excited for the second half of the year and can't wait to see what we do.
All right, Mike, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of your senior season, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right, thank you.
That was Michael Condolian from Warren JFK, just one of many great leaders that team has, and they are riding high. They are playing so well right now. If you haven't gone and seen Warren JFK play basketball, get out there, right? Coach K is putting together a tremendous bunch of players. They're playing really well. They're playing together. They're well coached. I think they can make a run. I really do. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing some other powerhouses in that division down a little bit, like the doors creaking open. I'm not going to say they're super vulnerable. They're still Richmond Heights. They're still, exactly what they always are. But you can tell that they're wavering a little bit. They lost a lot of their talent from last year. Maybe that door's creeping open, and maybe JFK can come in with a battering ram and just smash it into the door and bust it wide open. Because I really think that the players they have this year. I think Coach K was right. I think preseason when he said, this is the team that y'all been waiting for. I think this is the one. I'm watching all these kids and I'm like, got a lot of ways to beat you. Loved hearing about Michael's 1,000-point moment, because not only did he get to do it and then do it with his teammate on the same day, Jane Ritchell, they did it in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Arena, where the Cavs play. How many people can say they scored their 1,000th career point in that arena for high school? I'm guessing not too many. It just got to fall on the right time, and that's one of those things where you go, hey, it's my day to shine, right? Under the biggest lights you can possibly get into, get 1,000 career points, and then 2 of them do it on the same day. That is a moment to remember forever. And where would you see it live, by the way? YSNLive.com. We were there. We had that moment for you. We have all the great moments for you. We had a great moment last night. Michael Cole gets his 200th career victory for Champion. Forgot to congratulate him to that. So want to say that before we preview tonight's game. Spent a lot of time as the boys coach at Bloomington before Bloomfield, before coming to Champion to be the girls coach, and has racked up a bunch of wins in his career now. 200 is not easy to get, so we want to tip the hat to Coach Michael Cole. And man, he's always up for our interviews, and he's always up to giving us his time. And good friend of the show, good friend of YSN, and a great coach for Champion girls basketball as they get his 200th win and their 13th win of the season. Let's hop into the scoreboard once more and go from yesterday's finals to today's games on tap. Now, we thought maybe there'd be a chance for some cancellations today, but outside of the 440, where there are some up north where they were hit a lot harder than we were down here in the Mahoning Valley, the games seem to be going on as scheduled as of now. I know that decisions can still be made, and they're usually made around the 1 or 2 o'clock hour. So obviously they're still not completely green, but these games look like they're going to be going on tonight, which is good news for us because we love getting basketball on the network. Let's start with Lakeview going to South Range. In the NE8, South Range girls got revenge over the Bulldogs. Can the boys avenge an earlier season loss to Lakeview? We will find out in the Thriller Dome tonight. West Branch making the trip to Marlington tonight. Fitch goes to Canfield in the AAC, trying to knock off the Falcons. First time they played, Canfield hung on for the 3-point victory against the Falcons. What can the Falcons do this time around inside the nest at Canfield? Brookfield goes to Liberty tonight in the MVAC gray tier. We have Columbiana making the trip to Wellsville. East Liverpool, Beaver Local, you don't need any more than that. Blue versus red. It's the rivalry. It's going down, and it's in the Beaver Dome tonight at 7 o'clock. Garrettsville Garfield traveling to Champion. Jackson Milton goes and takes on Sebring in the Scarlet tier of the MVAC. EOAC play as Latonia goes to East Palestine. McDonald making the trip to Middle Ridge. Minerva goes to Salem. We have Newton Falls making the trip to LaBrea. This will be a big one, and I think they're all happy that this game's still happening. LaBrea, one of the few YSN schools in the Tri-County area that did cancel school today, but they have cleared it with the safety and the transportation and everything that's going to go on there. So that game is happening, and it's going to be a big one in Leavittsburg between the Tigers and the Vikings. Poland trying to hold on to their grip of the NE8 as they lead into Niles tonight. Southern going to United just like the girls did last night. So a nice little matchup there between the Eagles and the Indians. Springfield goes to Western Reserve, another MVAC Scarlet tier game. Struthers goes to Hubbard tonight. NE8, the Hubbard boys are playing really well of late, so that's going to be a big test for the Wildcats. Valley Christian goes to Lisbon, as that should be a fun one. It was a 5-point Lisbon lead last time in Valley Christian, so the Eagles trying to return the favor, go on the road and get a win. But Lisbon has been so tough in that conference, and they still have a grapple hold of the lead. Lowville goes to Waterloo tonight. We have Badger going to Fairport Harding. We have Beaver Area against Hopewell going on tonight as well. Crestview goes to Campbell. The Academy of Urban Scholars will make a trip to Cheney. Hoban goes to Walsh and Jesuit on the road tonight. Moreland JFK stays at home to host Rootstown. We go on to Lakeside, traveling to Madison. Jefferson going to Perry. Southeast will host Grand Valley. And Conneaut will travel to Harvey, one of the games in the 4-4-0 that is canceled tonight. Edgewood was supposed to play Geneva. That one is not happening. That one has been postponed. A makeup date is to be determined there. Let's go into the spreadsheet and tell you what games will be on the network tonight and who will have you covered with them. We want to also say that Ashtabula, St. John, and Wyndham were supposed to play tonight. That game has been canceled as well. I believe that's the only other cancellation today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games on the network tonight. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find them. And we'll start with Lakeview at South Range. Chris Colucci will be in the Thriller Dome for that one tonight between the Raiders and the Bulldogs. I'll be making the trip to Canfield for the Cardinals taking on the Falcons for round 2, Battle of the Birds. Gary Altizer will be in Wellsville as the Tigers try to handle Columbiana. Gary Burton will be in Beaver Local for the rivalry between East Liverpool and Beaver Local. Tim and Dan Figley will be in Latonia at East Palestine. Derek Rhodes making the trip to Salem as Minerva comes to town. Matt Marr will be in LaBrea as they welcome in Newton Falls. Ian O'Brien going to be in Niles for their matchup with Poland. Warren JFK going to be handled by the voice of the Eagles, Dom O'Brien. Zach Svensson, the voice of the Hubbard Eagles, will be in Hubbard for their matchup with Struthers. Rick Daly going to be joining you for the matchup between Lisbon and Valley Christian. Ty Bartell making the trip to Waterloo as they take on Lowville. Noah Doty going to be in Beaver for their matchup with Hopewell tonight. That's a 7:30 tip-off. And last but not least, Eric Hughes will be in Camel as they square off with Crestview. So all that fun stuff happening tonight on the network. ysnlive.com is where you can find the whole list of games. Make sure to go there, tune into your favorite teams, tune into your broadcasts. Check out the scoreboard later on. Live updated scores. Perfect way to find them, ysnlive.com/scores. And then, lastly but not least, we want to thank our guest that was interviewed and we featured this week, Michael Condolian, for his time. He's one of the reasons why we go the extra mile for you in the time that he gave us. We want to thank you, everyone here, for tuning in today. It's been a great episode. We'll be back tomorrow, Wrestling Wednesday, coming back at you, episode 8 with Gary Altizer and Scotty Mincher. We'll be here. We'll see you then. Enjoy all the great action tonight on ysnlive.com/live. This is